Part 2. Every Nike basketball sneaker I have, coming at you. You got to see 45 Jordans in part 1. I'll leave the link for that video in the description down below if you have not seen it yet. 57 pairs of Nikes for your viewing pleasure or displeasure, maybe in some cases depending on what your taste is. 56 of them are player signature basketball kicks, and I have one Nike runner, which I'm going to show you right here. The Infinity Run Flyknit, just a sneaker that's really good if you're going to the gym or want to go on a jog. Very comfortable, and I bet pretty much anyone watching this video has something like this or very similar. Nothing special here with this, just getting this out of the way. Now, all my Nike basketball sneakers, let's just do it.
Oh, behave.
I'm not going to nerd out all that much on the technological aspects of these kicks. About 90% of these sneakers I'm going to show you are ones I have or would play basketball, and that's how good the innovation has gotten with Nike over the years, to the point where almost all of these are better than any Air Jordan to play basketball in, my opinion personally. I'll explain my reasoning for the ones I prefer not to hoop in. Air Zoom Generation 1 or the LeBron one. The inspiration for the Air Zoom generation was an H2 Hummer that LeBron drove his senior year of high school at St. Vincent St. Mary High School in Akron. This is a pretty iconic piece of footwear, being it is the first model and sneaker that LeBron ever wore. This is the St. Vincent St. Mary colorway. You have a dark forest green on the back half of the sneaker, and by the forefront part of the sneaker you have white with gold accent. Really is a sexy, eye-catching looking sneaker. The Red Carpet LeBron 7. LeBron wore this colorway and model when he matched up against the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden in 2009. The only game he played in MSG that season, and had a great game, 33 points, 9 assists and 8 rebounds, and capped it off with a win. LeBron doing what LeBron just typically does. And this might have been a foresight of things to come, because this strikes me as a Miami Vice type colorway with this aqua blue here. And you got some red accent with LeBron's signature on the tongue in red, and the crown is red on the back part of the sneaker here by the heel as well. This aged really well when he went to the Miami Heat. Being that LeBron wore this colorway and model against the Knicks and had a great game, it's kind of Michael Jordan-esque, and one feature about the LeBron 7 that was different than the LeBron's 1 through 6 is the Air Max cushioning you got on the bottom. The first 6 LeBrons had Air Zoom cushioning, and this was the first model to feature Air Max technology. Another cool feature about the LeBron 7 is you have 5 different grooves in the outsole panel, representing that you need 5 players to win on the court. Fairfax High School in Los Angeles is a LeBron-sponsored school, and this colorway is the Fairfax. You see Fairfax High School's name right by the heel. Having a player sponsor your school and program is an amazing thing, because you get player exclusives from that athlete. And player exclusives, for those of you that don't know, are sneakers that are exclusively only for that player, and therefore not a general release. This signature colorway was only given to Fairfax High School's basketball program in 2009. I got these on StockX for $200, and I thought they were a steal, being that it's LeBron 7, one of his best models, and you have a really nice color scheme right here, the black and the red and the university gold, pretty much a Houston Rockets type theme. The LeBron 7 All-Star. LeBron laced up the All-Star 7s when he played in the All-Star game in Dallas in 2010, had 25 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. LeBron is truly a legend and icon in the game, so it's only fitting that models of his that are 10 plus years removed from him playing, I think they should get a retro treatment, and I look forward to seeing what Nike does with LeBron's line as far as retroing his old models in the future. When I'm looking for a pair of kicks to hoop in, I'm not looking to grab any of these LeBrons because they're just too damn heavy. Because it feels like on some of these LeBrons, even though they're very comfortable, that you have a tank on your foot. Literally a Mack truck. The LeBron 13, this is the Friday the 13th colorway, and I am a movie nerd, so
Nerd alert!
This sneaker right here, I totally geek out over.
Sorry, this part is for geeks only.
You have blood spatter on the midsole area, and you even have blood speckle on the lace loops, and you have his initials LJ in a Friday the 13th font and blood drip effect, even the outsole. So as far as sneakers go, this is a fairly graphic one, commemorating an R-rated movie with blood. The LeBron 15, this is the Diamond Turf colorway. This is commemorating Deion Sanders and his Diamond Turf shoe that he wore when he was in the NFL. And I still have the StockX verification tag on this. What's unique about this pair of LeBron 15s is it has the strap that the Diamond Turf shoe that Deion Sanders wore, and a regular pair of LeBron 15s does not have that. So this is a really unique, distinct LeBron 15, and there is also a white pair out there that I will definitely pick up sometime, but in the meantime, I have the red pair. Bright crimson LeBron 15, you have a black sneaker with some crimson red accent. The sock lining is very comfortable, and you get your foot in there quite easily. And the Flyknit material on this sneaker is so comfortable. It really is one of the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn. LeBron 15 graffiti, and you have underneath the midsole, you have a clear translucent outsole with some graffiti print on there. and you have, I can see one phrase, it says home of the fearless. The rest of the print is hard to make out, but you get the point. LeBron 15 Wolf Gray. You are looking at a man that is not afraid to wear pink, and this is the Rust Pink LeBron 15, and this one is a head turner right here. If you watched my part 1 video, you know how much of a fan of Space Jam I am and the Looney Tunes. Well, this right here is a very special pair of sneakers, the LeBron 17 Monstar. It's commemorating, obviously, Space Jam, and LeBron is starring in the second Space Jam movie that is set to release later this year, 2021. I had to break out both pairs because you have two different tongues, one orange, one purple. The orange Monstar in Space Jam was Charles Barkley, and the purple one was Larry Johnson. You could see this pair of sneakers from another planet. You have glitter that is infused in the Knitposit material and on the midsole panel as well. This right here is a sneaker, and regardless of brand, Nike or Jordan, this is a top 10 favorite pair of sneakers that I have in my collection. And another great detail about this sneaker is the number 0 that is underneath the two tongues, and if you remember in the movie Space Jam, all the Monstars wore the number 0. Kyrie Irving is definitely one of the most dynamic, exciting players in the NBA and went to Duke, so he's always been somebody I've been a fan of. Extremely entertaining to watch, and his kicks have been personal favorites of mine to play in as well. This is the Kyrie 1 Black History Month. You get a good 360-degree view on that. The infrared Kyrie 1, Easter Kyrie 1, and I love the vibrant colors. And big props to Nike and Kyrie Irving for giving Easter Sunday its own Kyrie Irving colorway. This is the Kyrie 2 Easter colorway. A nice violet color on the outsole. You have a lovely metallic teal swoosh on the midsole. I'm a fan of sneakers with a strap, and this has a lovely strap on it. Kyrie 2 Brotherhood. Doesn't have any Duke embroidery on it, but it is a Duke University colorway. And as far as basketball performing sneakers go, the Kyrie line is an incredible one. I've always been really comfortable wearing his sneakers. Kyrie Irving won his first NBA championship in the Kyrie 2. Hit one of the biggest shots in NBA Finals history. Kyrie 3 Finals Gold. Anybody watches the NBA Finals, you'll see all the teams' logos are in gold, and this right here is a shoe honoring that Kyrie Irving was playing in the NBA Finals. This is a Nike ID. I customized this. This is a Kyrie 3 Laker themed ID that I made. And one thing that is really cool about Nike ID is you can put your own personal customizations and touches on it, and I took the Kyrie logo on the tongue and I replaced it with my initials. So this is a great pair of sneakers because it is my personal pair of Kyrie 3 sneakers. And this was the first Nike ID that I ever created. I got these in 2017 and I have yet to wear them. Give you one last look at my Kyrie 3 Laker IDs. The Kyrie 3 Time to Shine. The outsole is glow in the dark, so when I cut the lights off in this room, you see this pair. A nice metallic silver swoosh on a gray pair of sneakers. This is a really clean pair. I feel like these would be well suited for an astronaut. The Kyrie 3 Duke, and I like it because this is a Duke colorway, and you have DU on one sneaker and KE on the other, so when you put the heels together, it spells Duke. You got a white swoosh with black lining around it stitched in, so this is a really special pair of Kyries, and as you can see, I still have that StockX verification tag on it. I have not laced these up yet. And on the left sneaker, you have Kyrie's number that he wore at Duke, number 1, and on the right sneaker, you have his Kyrie logo. This right here is the Kyrie 4 cereal pack. Starting with the pair on the right-hand side is the Kicks colorway. The one in the middle is the Lucky Charms. And the one on the left is the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I never had Kicks cereal growing up, but this sneaker is really nice. The Lucky Charms Kyrie 4. What I really like on the cereal pack is on the left sneaker, you have the cereal logo on it. On the right sneaker on the cereal pack, it's just Kyrie's logo. But I'm showing you what really makes the cereal packs really distinct. And on the second half of the shoe, you have the shapes of the Lucky Charms cereal, and that holographic swoosh really pops out at you. I'm all about sneakers that are very vibrant and colorful, and this certainly fits that bill. And the Cinnamon Toast Crunch tan light brown color. You have different colored speckle all throughout the midsole and on the swoosh. Bright colors on the outsole. I love the zigzag pattern on the outsole of the Kyrie 4. This is a great sneaker to hoop in. And you have that Cinnamon Toast Crunch logo on the left sneaker. This is a Kyrie 4 Nike ID I made. New York Knicks theme. I did blue midsole, blue lining, orange laces, and swoosh. And this pair came out really clean. I've worn this a few times and I really enjoy this pair. My New York Knicks Kyrie 4 Nike ID. This is a Cleveland Cavaliers Kyrie 4 Nike ID I made. A navy blue base and midsole, a maroon outsole, maroon lining, and university gold laces and swoosh. And I put my own personal touches on my Cleveland Cavalier Kyrie 4 Nike ID by putting my initials on there. I also did it on the Knicks pair too. Kyrie 4 City Edition. This right here I thought was a Boston Celtics type theme. This was the first model that came out when Kyrie was on the Boston Celtics. And you have a gray upper with green with a little bit of gold around the gray swoosh. But then you look at the bottom and then you have a pink zigzag running down the outsole of the sneaker, and pink is not a color that the Boston Celtics have in their color scheme, so I'm just thinking this is a random Kyrie 4 called the City Edition. I personally love Christmas and the holiday season. It is the best time of the year. I am someone who sings Christmas carols, and I love listening to the music from the beginning of November all the way till the new year. So this is the Kari 4 Christmas Nike ID that I personally designed. I made a red base with a green tongue and laces, and the outsole I made a light brown gum color to represent gingerbread men, and I made a Christmas gold swoosh and Kyrie gold logo on the tongue to put the final Christmas touches on my Kyrie 4 Christmas Nike ID. I certainly plan on making more Christmas-themed Nike IDs. Kyrie 4 March Madness. The bottoms on this are very vibrant and colorful, and the holographic swoosh just makes the sneaker. Kyrie 5, and this is a Nike ID I designed, and this is a Space Jam theme. Anytime I'm designing a signature Nike basketball sneaker for one of my favorite players, Paul George, Kevin Durant, or Kyrie Irving, I always have Jordan themes in mind, and this sneaker really came out nice. My personal Kyrie 5 Space Jam. That's how much of a fan of Michael Jordan I am when I'm designing Nike IDs, Nike Bayous. I'm having MJ's signature colorways in mind. When I saw the design options for the Kyrie 5 on Nike ID, I was very excited because this was the first time you could make an all-green sneaker. So I just jumped on that chance, and I just went straight Boston Celtics theme with a complete green sneaker with a white swoosh. Another Kyrie 5 Nike ID, and my inspiration for this was the retro Utah Jazz. In the late 90s, the Jazz had light blue and purple in their jerseys, and I did a gum bottom to represent the mountains of Utah. Give you one last look at my Kyrie 5 Nike ID retro Utah Jazz. Kyrie 6 Nike ID, and I took the Bread 11s from MJ, and I designed this pair. Kyrie 6 Nike ID, and my inspiration for this was the military, a salute to service pair, with the gum light brown bottom representing military boots, and what I call this army green. Paul George is one of the best two-way players in the NBA, and I became a big fan of PG during his Indiana Pacer days and his battles against the Miami Heat during the Big 3 days. This is the PG1 Flip the Switch, PG1 University Red, PG1 Ivory. I really like the tan swoosh, and on the back portion of the sneaker, you have a leathery feel scale type pattern, which is supposed to resemble that of animal skin. PG2 Nike ID, I did a Cleveland Cavalier theme, and I got my initials RW on the back heel of this pair. Another Nike ID, this is the PG2 Phoenix Suns colorway that I designed, and I liked on the PG2, you could have an orange midsole and outsole. Took that, put that on the bottom, because that is a Phoenix Sun color, and put a purple upper with an orange tongue. And of course, have my initials embroidered on the heel tab of the PG2. That's right, another PG2 Nike ID. This is a Miami Hurricanes inspiration themed type sneaker. You could also call this a Gatorade colorway with the orange and green. I think the color combination of the Miami Hurricanes, the orange and green, is so eye-catching and stunning. And on the tongue this time instead of the heel, I have my initials embroidered on them. PG2 Nike ID, Indiana Pacers. Another color combination I really like. You have University Gold with Navy Blue. And Paul George used to play for the Indiana Pacers, so I thought it would be very fitting to have a retro Indiana Pacers type sneaker, and that's where I came up with this. Got PG's logo on the tongue, but my initials are on that heel once again. So you know damn well this is my pair. PG2 Nike ID, this is a red carpet colorway. You know when they have the red carpet movie awards and whatever, I just basically said I'm going to go with that as an inspiration, and I did an all red sneaker with a gold swoosh for awards, because, you know, gold and awards, that goes together. This is a galaxy-themed inspired colorway with a dark gray upper, orange swoosh to represent, because, you know, space has different colors, and orange is one of them. I did a black midsole with white speckle to represent the stars, and a translucent outsole, because the light blue sky is the last thing before you get to black space, so I thought I would layer it that way. That's how I came up with the PG2 Galaxy. I also took KD4 Galaxies, which is a pair of sneakers I need in the worst way. PG2 March Madness. This mirrors the Kyrie 4 March Madness that I showed you earlier. This with the Kyrie 4 got released with a Kobe AD to commemorate the NCAA tournament. PG3 Nike ID. Took the Oklahoma City colorways and I designed this, and that was the second team that Paul George played for after he got traded from the Indiana Pacers. The PG3 is really inspirational. Along the back part of the midsole by the heel, you have "Don't Tell Me the Sky's the Limit" when there's footprints on the moon. Really like that. Very inspirational sentiment. And on this pair, I have my first initial and then last name. Give you one last look at my PG3 Nike ID Oklahoma City Thunder. Another PG Nike ID, I took the Seattle Supersonics, and I designed this colorway, The PG3 All-Star. A lot of people think that this is a ugly shoe, but one fact about Paul George that basketball fans know is that he's big into fishing, and this is a Pro Bass Shop themed colorway. Kevin Durant, otherwise known as the Slim Reaper, certainly an all-time great player and one of the best pure scorers ever. Even though I hated him for leaving OKC to go to Golden State, I still enjoy watching him play tremendously. This is the KD4 Thunderstruck colorway, and an excellent strap on this sneaker. Kevin Durant wore this colorway in the 2012 Western Conference Finals against the San Antonio Spurs. KD4, excellent sneaker to play basketball in. KD11, this is a Nike ID I designed, and the inspiration and theme I have in mind was Duke Blue Devils. This can also be considered an Orlando Magic colorway as well. This sneaker, for me, the outsole is a little too heavy to play basketball in, but it's extremely comfortable with the sock lining and the Flyknit material on the base. KD13, another Nike ID, and I had a retro Golden State Warriors theme and inspiration in mind on this pair. And this is a sneaker I haven't played in yet, but I can tell will be a great performing sneaker to hoop in. And I really loved how these turned out. The late, great Kobe Bryant. He represented everything that's great about basketball culture and the game, and he will truly be missed. And wearing his sneakers was always special, but certainly has even more significance now. The Black Mamba, one of my personal favorite hoopers ever. This is the Kobe 4 Protro Draft Day. And Kobe Bryant was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. He played his whole career for the Los Angeles Lakers, but the Charlotte Hornets drafted him, and this is kind of commemorating that draft day experience. And if you watch part 1, you know I am a fan of the Charlotte Hornets colors with teal and purple. Kobe 5, Bruce Lee, and this is a combination collaboration that is a top-notch one. I'm not going to say it's ahead of Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan, but God, it's damn close. ESPN's 30 for 30 documentary, Be Water on Bruce Lee, was an exceptional documentary. And Kobe Bryant, as we all know, drew inspiration from, God, damn near everything. Bruce Lee certainly being a figure that pretty much anyone can take and use him as a source of inspiration. The yellow and black upper is honoring the one-piece jumpsuit that he wore in the movie Game of Death, and the red scratch marks by the front of the sneaker are representing the final fight scene from the movie Enter the Dragon. Being that it's two legends like Bruce Lee and Kobe Bryant, this is certainly a top 10 pair of sneakers in my collection. Kobe 5 Protro, 5 rings. This colorway released when Kobe Bryant won his 5th NBA championship in 2010. This is the Protro model that just dropped recently. He did not want his sneakers from previous years to be called retros. He wanted them to be called Protros, which was a combination of prototype and retro. And the theme and idea behind that was that Kobe Bryant wanted his sneakers to not just be released exactly the same, but have Nike try to improve them in any which way they could. That's why any of his new models and colorways that come out now are going to be called Protros. Lower Merion, Kobe 7. Anyone who's a big fan of Kobe Bryant knows he went to Lower Merion High School in Philadelphia. Really special because it's his high school team and got that Lower Merion ace on the back heel. Kobe 7, a great performing basketball sneaker. Kobe 10, Bright Crimson. You have just a bright red sneaker with a giant Kobe logo on the back heel in black. I always thought Kobe Bryant had one of the best logos. Looks like a cool hieroglyphic or a alien spaceship. Kobe's, to me, top performing basketball sneaker. Very light, low cut. Everything that I loved about basketball sneakers. He was my second favorite player after Michael Jordan, but his sneakers to me are number one. The Nike Air More Up-Tempo, Scottie Pippen's model, and we all know that MJ, before Scottie Pippen, had personal success, but had yet to win an NBA championship, who wore this Nike model, Scottie Pippen. Forget being the best Robin, one of the best players of all time. The man defensively, his intelligence, passing the ball, gotta give Scottie Pippen his props. And this model right here that he wore, one of the sexiest sneakers ever with the giant Nike Air going up and down the whole sneaker. You have a Nike swoosh right on the toe cap. Not a heel tab, but a heel loop to get the back of your foot in. The Nike Air More Up-Tempo. That's all, folks. Part 2 of my sneaker collection, every Nike I own. Between this video and part 1 of every Air Jordan I have, you got to see 102 kicks. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I appreciate you taking time to watch it. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as that notification bell, so you are notified about the next Kicks with Willie episode. The next video on my channel will be of every Blu-ray movie I own, and I have an extensive movie collection, so I look forward to sharing that with you. The Ryan Woolley Show, the hub of sneakers and movies. Make sure to keep watching flicks and collecting kicks. I'm Ryan Woolley, officially signing off, saying thank you, and hasta la vista, baby.